Hello again, YouTube. It's my beautiful face, and I know what you're thinking. What can this devilishly handsome man tell me now? But as I was thinking about it, going through some of the autograph openings I've been doing, I think back to the places I send them to and the successes I've had. So what I wanted to do real quick, just a little brief video on professional teams to kind of avoid sending to because of their policies or just simply bad luck that I've run across in the time. So I'm going to look at the four major North American professional sports: hockey, baseball, basketball, and football. American football for any Europeans watching this. And then European football or soccer for here in the U.S., because I do have at least one that I know for a fact, as was evidenced by a few videos ago. Let's look at baseball. I haven't seen any team in the Major League Baseball that has explicitly said on their website, do not send fan mail. There are some teams in other sports that do that. They literally say, any fan mail that you send us will be discarded and not returned to you. And you would think it would be some of the bigger teams like, the Yankees or the Angels or things like that, the Dodgers and whatnot, but the only team I ever really ran into an issue with was, for a time period, the Texas Rangers were doing basically send it back with a form letter or a promo picture. But since then, I have had successes with the Rangers, and I have had successes with pretty much most of the baseball teams, even the Yankees. For some of their bigger players, they might not, because they want them to concentrate on the game, and that's perfectly understandable. So those are things you got to watch out for. But baseball, I haven't seen any problems. The NBA, basketball, it used to be that the 76ers and the Lakers explicitly said, don't send fan mail. But weirdly, I have gotten a success back from the 76ers. I've sent some to the Lakers, but haven't had anything returned yet. Good or bad or indifferent. So I'm not 100% sure on the actual status of the Lakers. I will caution this. The one team starting, I think, last season, the 2019-2020 season, that I've had issues with was the Milwaukee Bucks. You would just start getting promo things back. And I'd had successes in the past with them before, but I don't know if there was a management change. But there may be... If you want, give it a try. If it comes back like that, I would say wait a season and then see if they change their policy again. The NFL, really, there's three teams that explicitly say don't send to us. The Seattle Seahawks, the Atlanta Falcons, and the LA Rams. On their website, they explicitly say don't send fan mail. The other teams, actually, on their sites, they welcome fan mail. The only thing they do is caution you not to send anything of extreme value, because there is a chance the player may not check their mailbox, may not get it. And then it all depends on the player. If you send to like a Tom Brady or a Ben Roethlisberger or a Patrick Mahomes, care of their respected teams, chances are it might not be passed on because they are of such high level and probably get thousands of requests a day. So just a heads up on that. So football, like I say, the other teams are pretty good to go, with the exception of the Rams, the Seahawks, and the Falcons. Those three teams, I don't know, they don't really make sense to me, but I guess they're not supposed to. Hockey, the NHL, haven't had any issues with the exception of the Tampa Bay Lightning. They've been doing a lot of that, sending back with promo stuff, or just taking well over a year and then sending it back completely unsigned. So if you have any cards of players playing for the Lightning lying around, I would say maybe wait if they get traded, or try to see if you can meet them in person, or if you can find an address for them in an apartment or at their homes. I will say this, though. There are a few teams, actually two that I know for a fact. In hockey, it's the Detroit Red Wings. In baseball, it's the Detroit Tigers. They do, through their team, like a charity autograph thing for certain players. They're on this list, and you send it to them with a donation to a charity that they've chosen, and they'll guarantee you an autograph, but it does come with the cost for a charity. So you look on their websites, and they'll tell you, I think it's called Autographs for the Cause or A Cause or something of that nature. For the Premier League in the UK, the only one I've run into issues with, as evidenced by the Raheem Sterling video, was Manchester City. I have had successes from other Premier League teams, Championship League teams. Just Manchester City right now, because of the real high level of play they have, seems to be, hold off, we're focusing on the game. And that's fine. So really, it's a hit and miss game. Those are the ones I know for, not fact per se, but those are the ones I know pretty certainly you're not going to have much success with. And the thing is, if you're going to send it to a team, you go on the team's website. Most of them are really, really good about publishing, on their contact page or whatever, where to send mail to, their office address, or in some cases just to the stadium, because they'll probably have addresses there, or offices there, I should say. The only issue you can run across is if it's a team in another country and you don't speak their language. But you have Google Translate, and even sometimes their own website offers a translating thing. And then, really, the biggest pain is just trying to figure out how to structure the address for that particular country. I know, here in the U.S., there's a certain way to do it. It's the name, if it's care of a business, care of, address, city, state, zip code. But in other places, it's different. Like in the UK, it's if they have a house or a building, you put the building and then the road, and they don't abbreviate. They don't put punctuation on the street abbreviations or things like that. And then you have to go down like the proper way to get their postal codes, because they're different than the U.S. And if they want the country name capitalized, lowercase, whatnot, all that's available on the internet. Just Google address formats for specific countries. That's what I did, and eventually you do get used to it, and it becomes kind of second nature. And then, as you saw in the one Canadian letter that came back, I think it was Bob Rouse, that I will write. I always put "don't bend" on it, because I don't need somebody, bending the crap out of it, because it is a trading card and therefore it is paper. But if it's going to a foreign country, I will also include it in their language. If it's like a heavy-duty symbol-based language or Cyrillic language, like I've sent letters to Russia, sent letters to Greece, anything with letters that my chicken scratch handwriting would basically make a complete hash of, I'll type it on an address label and just kind of trim it down, just so it's there. And it's just a mark of respect. And again, if you're sending to an international country, if you don't have the stamps, which chances are you're not going to, go online, try to find out their postal information, how much it would cost to send a standard letter, less than an ounce, because most of them will be in grams. I don't know the conversion from grams to ounces off the top of my head. But you look at that, do a conversion. All this you can find on the internet if you're real serious about it. And just make sure to include a couple of bucks. If it's under the 30-cent mark, like $2.30, to send $2. But if it's anything over that, maybe go an extra buck just in case. And there have been times when I've sent to people overseas or in different countries. They've returned my money. I think it's more just they appreciate the gesture. But I always do it just so it makes it easier for them. And that's the whole key of all this. And that's what I'm going to do in another video. It's just the basic steps on how to do a solid letter that could give you a success. So that right there sums this little rambling thing up for the teams to try to avoid, or maybe if anybody out there tries one of the teams I mentioned and has gotten a success, down below somewhere, email me, let me know, and if anything changes, I'll post an update. But right now, so avoid in football, the Seahawks, the Rams, the Falcons. Hockey, be wary of the Lightning. Basketball, haven't seen anything yet, but be wary of the Bucks and maybe the Lakers, I don't know. And what was the other one? Baseball. Haven't seen any issues with the exception of the Rangers, but they've kind of turned that around. So, I'm Zach. This was my 10 minutes of random, rambling, free advice. So best of luck to you guys. If you get anything I didn't, let me know. And good luck to everybody.